Holy hell, was that loud in my ears? I don't know how that was for you, but
Yeah, it's kind of loud. Yeah.
yeah, I turned the volume down too, but it didn't get any quieter. I don't know what's going on with that opening video sometimes on blast. Anyway, welcome back to Horse Racing Radar TV with yours truly and the forever smiling, terrific Terry Hay. And smiling yesterday, his top pick of the day, paid $12, put 20 on it, and he had a nice day. I hope that Barry was paying attention and put his 500 on that one.
Yeah, I hope he did.
Indeed. So we'll be back today to Parx, Terry and I. Before we get cracking on Parx, Terry, like always, we have some free picks available always at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. So link in the description below. Today, you will find out. Well, there we had some nice winners yesterday. You see some of them right there. But the free track of the day is going to be Zia Park. A lot of races running at Zia today. Just go to Guaranteed Tip Sheet, the link down there below, and you'll see Mississippi Music, the 8-horse in the first race, at 8-1.
Wow, that's
as
nice.
A best bet, Terry. I don't know. That's a good way to get started if that one clicks, right?
It is, as long as it stays at 8-1.
Yes. Hello, Rich. Race 1 win, Yaba. And Terry's probably the one that's going to give you the race 1 winner. We're going to go to race 1 right now at Parx, Terry. It's a little bit of a impromptu segue. We appreciate that. We appreciate the comments. If, like Yaban, you have some thoughts you want to share, questions, you want us to get to the point, go ahead and let us know in the comments section, Terry. But it's time for us to get to the point and for you to get started. What are we doing in the first race?
Well, it's 6.5 furlongs. It's $12,500 claiming race. It's a purse of $23,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
And at 6.5 furlongs, the profile of a winner favors horses that have a bunch of early speed. 1 out of 3. Tony Dorsett, 33%, going wire to wire. Get a little bonus if you wear a post position number 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, get a little bit dinged if you wear 4, 5, 6, or 7. And you get another bonus if you wear an 8 or out. That doesn't really come into play today because in the opener, Terry, I don't think we have. But what do we got? 5 horses after a couple scratches.
Yeah.
We do some simulations. We want to create our own odds to get a sense of fair value. With the scratches, it's probably going to change a little bit. We're hoping our simulation odds are lower than post-time odds. Based upon our 1,000 simulations, we're looking for horses that have a shot, what % chance to clear par for this level. Here you can see speed figure of 74. The only horse left with that is the 7, Paradigm Shift. Checking out early speed, see who has a chance to set the tone early on, and based upon that early speed, how likely this race is to mirror winning efforts for the horse in prior starts. So the bigger the number, the better there. Terry, with a couple scratches, looks like most of the speed is gone, so it's a barbell approach now.
It really is. The 1 and the 7 show the most steep speed, but you just never know in a short field like this. There's no overlays that I can see. And the par number, the only one that has it, as you said, was number 7. As far as the C zones, the 1, 6, and 7 show the best C zone numbers.
Yeah, just looking at that one, Terry, big overlay, or underlay, I guess you would say, has that chance to be on the front, strong C zone score. And the Paradigm Shift, the 7 horse over here, does have that pretty fair odds. Good, the only shot to be par plus, and in those numbers there too. Along with the simulations, we do pace handicapping, right? Where do the horses play out and what does it look like? So look, what looks like the 1, the 6, and the 7 want to be on the front. The 2 and the 3 want to close. Another barbell race in there, Terry. Early on, that speed belongs to Paradigm Shift. About a 4-point edge over the next closest horse on this Harvest Moon, the 1 horse. 4 points, about 3/4 of a length. Late speed, Aunt Barrera, the 3 horse, along with Forest Maiden. Those 2, hey, and if you want anything from Amazon, you can get some cash back right now. They have the best early speed, those 3 right there. 10 points clear of the next group. Our total pace picture tells us, Terry, this is an open race to get started. Only a handful of points between top and bottom. Just about anybody can win, Terry. We both think the same one will.
Yes, number 3, Aunt Vera. She finished 3rd versus similar her last race, and blinkers are being added today to keep her mind on business. Number 2 is my second choice, Brooklyn Heights. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 1 is my 3rd pick, On This Harvest Moon.
Yes.
She drops in class today and may improve while returning to a sprint. My long shot's Forest Maiden, the 6. She has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to play a $1 daily double, the 1, 2, 3 with the 1, 4.
I'm not a big enthusiast of this race, to be honest with you, Terry, but I do like the 3 horse in here too. Aunt Barrera is my top choice. It looks like she's a short sprinter, Terry. She ran one time at 5.5 furlongs, won that race. All other races were 6.5 furlongs or longer. I think it's going to be towards the front, going to be tough to catch, perhaps. We'll see. Paradigm Shift, the 7 horse, runs okay off the bench like today. Not great. Does have a couple of maintenance works getting ready. Number 1 on this Harvest Moon is a class dropper. In the money, 3 out of 4 at the distance. It's the only distance at which she's won. And then finally, number 6, Forest Maiden. Last time out was a bit stronger from the middle of the race to the finish line. But Maddie Rowland's riding. I really like Maddie Rowland. Met her down in Tampa Bay. Great girl, but she's a little overdue at Parx, Terry. Run there 41 times and has as many wins as you and I at the moment.
Yep, that's true.
So hopefully our good friend Maddie can get it together. Great young girl. $2 exacta for me because I'm a big spender, Terry. Ice cold, 3-7 in the open.
You may be wishing you boxed that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I probably will be wishing I boxed that. But what are you going to do? It's not a race I like, so I'm not going to be pot committed, as they say in poker.
Yeah.
All right, we got to run through race 2 pretty quickly because it's going to start race 1 in a couple minutes here, Terry. So let's try to blast through this one and then come back to race 1.
All right, so it's 1 mile and 70 yards, and it's a maiden claiming race, $16,000 claiming price, purse $22,000 for maidens, 3-year-olds and upward.
And at 1 mile and 70 yards, the sort of horse that you kind of want to back, has early speed. 28% of the time they go wire to wire. You have a slight inside to outside bias, Terry, at the 1 mile and 70 yards. So if you have a little bit of inside speed, you got a good shot. Looks like one of them, though, has a lot more than a little bit of speed.
That's right. That 4 shows a lot of speed. Should get there to that quarter pole first. And then the 1 has an overlay from 5-2 to 4-1, and the 7 has an overlay from 3-1 to 6-1. As far as the par numbers, 1, 4, and 7 show some par numbers. And then the 8, 7, and 6 have the best C-zone numbers.
In the race 2 race shape, nobody really wants to be forward. The 6, Keep It Salty, is going to try it for the first time. The 5 horse, its races so far has not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. Most of these horses want to be middle back, so get to the front. You probably got a pretty good chance to score here. That 4 horse, as we talked about, big shot to be on the lead. 11-point early pace advantage here. That's 2 lengths, a little bit more than 2 lengths. Should get out to the front, Terry, and make all the others pass it if they want to win. Late in the race, Road Call, Bubby Papermaker, and Majestic Lion. They'll be the ones with the most energy coming down the lane. Question is, can they make up that difference? The 4 is likely to get early on. Your top total pace horse in here, Terry, is the 7, Road Call. My question is, will he be able to run down Big Brook with the lead Big Brook can get, especially if the fractions are slow? You don't think it will?
No, I like Big Brook, the number 4. He drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 30% of the time when taking a horse from a sprint to a route, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Majestic Lion, my second choice, the 1 horse, ran second versus similar in last race and has a high percentage winning jockey. 3 last stream, finished in the money in 6 out of the last 8 races at Parx Racing, and his best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. I like 7, Road Carl's my long shot, ran second versus similar in last race as a trainer, wins 25% of the time when taking a horse from a sprint to a route, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm playing 50 cent, pick 4, 1, 4 with the 2, 3, 4 with the 4, with the 7, 8, 11, 15, and 16.
I like the 1, 4, 7, and 6. Right now, race number 1 is underway, and the 3 horse at 4-1 is on the lead. Terry, how about that, huh?
That's good.
22-2 for the opening quarter. The 6 horse at 5-1 has ventured up into second place. Does look like it's moving pretty good right now. I don't know if it's 3 horse still has a pretty good tight on the grip on the reins there. The 6 horse is being asked to run. The 1 horse at 1-1 is trying to make its move, but the 6 horse is going to say sayonara to the 3 right now, Terry. So it looks like the 6 horse could be the one to beat in here, Terry, and that's the next one on your list. As I mentioned, I wasn't really a big fan of this race, and the 6 horse is going to be your winner. Looks like it's going to go 6, then the 3, maybe the 1 might run down that 3. That's tough to tell. But yeah, 6, 3, 6, 3, 1, and who's going to come in third, fourth? 6, 3, 1, and 2. 6, 3, 1, 2, and that's 7 that I didn't box. Comes in a lumbering third. So 6 horse, our fourth pick, both coming home. The winner there, Terry. 4's Maiden. Did have a good C-zone score over here. Ran second coming out of the track there. Race number 1, the 6 horse did great out as the third. Best late speed in here, tied with the 3 horse. Shot off the 3 and just ran by him at the end. That's exactly what happened in that race.
Yeah,
And,
one easy.
Very easy. Short field. I wasn't a fan of the race. That's why I only put $2 on it. Back to race number 2. The reason I like the 1 horse, Majestic Lion, 4 consecutive speed figure increases in a row. In fact, that last top race speed figure was 15 points clear of the next closest horse. Big Brook, the 4 horse, class dropper. Paco Lopez on board. Going to go long for the first time here for Jamie Ness. It's a 24% angle. And as we mentioned, this horse would be on front. You're going to have to chase that one down. Road call, the 7, top total pace horse, and can definitely be flying at the end, unlike what we saw in the first race from the 7 horse. And then Keep It Salty, the 6 horse. Mama's made enough winners to give this debut horse some consideration. 3 horse was next up on my lead, on my board. All right, Terry, let's go on to race number 3 and see what the situation is here.
All right. It's a 6 furlong race, optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price if you want to put it in there for it. First $26,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have started for $16,000 or less and which have never won 3 races, or claiming price of $25,000, and which have never won 3 races.
So at 6 furlongs for horses that haven't won 3 races, in case you didn't catch that. They tend to favor stalkers, but a big bunch, 37%, and go wire to wire. I can't think of any football player that wore number 37, to be honest with you. 1 through 7 play fair with smallish inside out bias. 8 and out, they tend to do the best, Terry, at 6 furlongs. So if you're a Buffalo girl on the outside and you got some speed, you got a shot, but looks like all the speed here is middle in.
That's right. The 4, 2, and 3 show the most speeds. Anybody's guess who gets her first. The 3 has an overlay of from about 7 to 5 to 7 to 2,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or 3 to 2, yeah. And then the par numbers, the 3, 6, and 2 show some par numbers, and then the 2, 5, 1, and 4 have the C-zone numbers.
Yeah, the one with the most green across here is 2, the Carbonite, which got fair odds, good shot to run above par, good crack to be lead. Looks like it probably second in here, and probably will enjoy the pace the most. In the third race, again, look at this, Terry. Everybody wants to be middle back again. Really no true pace setter in here. So get out to the front, and you grow in confidence. You could win. Pretty competitive, except for maybe Looking Super. That one might be a little bit off the tail there. The rest of them are within a step or two, a little bit of a break. So they're all right there. 2 horse looks like it is the quickest out of the gate. Looking Super, though, might not get the start rolling, but we'll be rolling at the end. Probably not enough advantage to hold off a horse like Professor Cool. And then finally, your top total pace horse in there, Terry, is Professor Cool. Just a couple of points ahead of Carbonite. Again, only looks like the 1 horse in here, DePoli, maybe in over its head, Terry. I don't have that one in my picks. I hope it's not your first one. It's not.
It is not. My first is number 4, Finally Captured. Finished in third versus similar in his last race. Early speed running style helps chances, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Roan Burgundy, the 3 is my second choice, has the highest last speed rating. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and a good workout on December 5th. Carbonite, the 2, my third pick, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And number 6, Professor Cool, is my long shot, ran second versus similar in his last race, and the distance is not a problem. No bet for me in this race.
And then in race 3, as far as I am concerned, I like the 4 horse 2, Finally Captured. Could be the pace setter, Terry, but doesn't need to be the pace setter. It's proven it can also run effectively from the back of the pack. Probably the most consistent horse in this field. Professor Cool, last time the horse ran at this level, it missed only by a head, which is the lowest level of its career. So should be competitive once again. Carbonite, the 2-horse, does have the most back class in this field, probably going to be near the front. You have Paco Lopez riding for Jamie Ness on a horse where all of its race internals last time out improved. Finally, Rowan Burgundy. This one stumbled at the start of its last race, Terry, and still managed to run the top last race speed figure and does have a pretty nice workout sense. Like you, I stayed on the sidelines bet-wise here, Terry, which will take us to race number 4, where I'm sure both of us will commit some money because it's a pick 4. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's a mile and 70 yards. It's $7,500 claiming race, purse $21,000 for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 4 races.
So Melvin Torres for race. Is this race number 4 to Melvin or race number 2? 3, 4, 7 over to 2, 3, 4. The top horse is the 4, and then he's got like every horse after that. 7, 8, 11, 15, 16. It looks a lot. That's going to be race number 2.
Yeah,
that looks a lot like the pick 4s that we put together. Yeah, with all those high numbers in the back end. Thank you, Melvin. Make sure you screenshot that, folks, and that way we don't miss out. So you went through the details on race number 4, Terry?
I did.
All right, fantastic. As far as a mile and 70 yards, we're on race 3. What do I got race 4 up there for?
We're on race 3.
Race 3. What am I doing, Terry? Race 3. I thought we did race 3 already.
Nope.
We didn't?
I don't think so.
All right. So what are we doing here on race 3, Terry?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. We're on race 4.
Okay, so now you got me really confused. Race 4, Terry.
We're on race 4, and I've already told you what the
conditions are.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So you old guys like the people up in the Muppets, right? What's going on? Who knows? First, who's on first? What's on
I'm going to blame Melvin. He kind of interrupted me. So
yeah, we're having one of those moments. All right, guys. 1 mile and 70 yards. We'll get our heads back together. Early speed wins 28% of the time. Gate to wire is how that is accomplished. Slight inside-outside bias, Terry. So in race number 4, I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing here. In race number 4, you got another one of these horses, Terry, that looks like it's going to be a barn burner when the gates open.
That's right. That 4 just shows so much speed. I don't think anything's going to catch it. The 3 has a nice little overlay of 5 to 2 to 6 to 1. Par numbers are the 4 and the 3. And then the 4 shows a really good C-zone number. So,
yeah, I think there's no chance that horse is going off at 6 to 5, Terry. You look at this, almost 50% chance to run par or better. Strong chance to be on the lead. Is not going to be afraid to take that mantle and run with it. You have over here, it's a PC horse. Maybe the only thing that might work against its favor is that the race shape. You don't have a whole lot of speed in here, but I actually think that works to its favor. Because if you look, it does have that 7-point advantage over Catalina, Lulu's Dancer. And then these two they're going to lollygag it out of the gate. That's the old word right there. I just dated myself. Late speed, Sirienta, the 1 horse, is the best closer. Luna T, another closer, and the 6. So the 3 closers will be closing. I just don't know what kind of pace they're going to get to close into. Top total pace horse is Burano, that speedster, 6 points clear. But the rest of them are all kind of bunched up there, Terry. So I feel like the 4 horse gets to the lead and probably stays there. What do you say?
Yeah, I agree. 4 is my pick of the day. It's like she likes Parx Racing, finishing in the money 66% of the time and winning 25% of the starts. The distance won't be a problem as she's finished in the money in 50% of the races. Number 3 is my second choice, won 2 out of the 3 races. And her early speed running style helps chances. Number 2, Luna T, is my third pick. She finished in the money in 61% of the time and won 23% of the starts. And she has a trainer who wins 20% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route. And then I like the 6, Lulu's Dancer. She may improve while returning to a route, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to bet 20 to win on the 4. I'm going to bet a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 4 as a single. Then 7, 8, 11, 15, 16 with the 2, 3, 5, and 6 with the 1, 2, 3, 6.
You spent all your money on that one.
Yeah, a lot of it.
I look at this 4 horse, Terry, and I try to make a case for it to get beat. It's the lone PC horse in the field that, only the 3 look like it wanted to be forward. Does have that +6 early speed advantage. So going to probably be on the front. Sim says this one's going to be the pace setter by a big time. Big time par plus number, is the favorite, and quite frankly is the one to beat. My only concern is many times horses that look like that on paper at Parx, they finish in the bridesmaid spot. Luna T, closer, is a closer that's getting plenty of extra runway today. Terry showed a lowercase Z pattern last time out. Yeah, early pace here, a little bit of a lull in the middle of the race, and then found its second win at the end. Catalina, top last race, speed figure, Terry. That number was at Penn. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Penn to Park shippers in here, but I am a fan. The only time this other horse made a second start, it had a huge bump in its speed figure relative to the prior start. So maybe one of those horses that makes big leaps in round 2 off the bench. And then Serenetta, the one horse, all of its race internals were just a touch better last time out and increased its speed figure in the last 2. Every indication that this horse is on the upswing. Pick 4 for me too, Terry. I'm going to single the 4. And I'm going to go 6, 7, 8, 11, 16 next up. And then 3, 6, 1, 2 in the back. And really thought about singling on the back end too there. Maybe I didn't, because it's still a hot dog pick 4. On to race 5 we go as we attack the middle of the card, Terry. Back to a 6 furlong affair.
That's correct. We're shortening up to 6 furlongs, claiming race at $7,500 claiming price. Purse is $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
And 6 furlongs. Tactical speed fares well, but 37% of the time, horses do get to the front, stay to the front, and run straight into the winner's circle. Post positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, they play pretty fair. A little bit of an edge to the inside horses, but not that much. And then 8 and out gets a little bit of a bonus. In race number 5, Terry, got a bunch of horses here, Terry. And a bunch of them look like they got a shot to be on the front. Only one of them looks like it might be a little bit dominant early.
Yeah, that number 16, Baby Socks, has the most speed, but all of them show some kind of speed in here. And the 16 also has an overlay of 3-1 to 4-1. That's about the only overlay I see. Mm-hmm. And then the par numbers 11, 16, and 15 show some par numbers. Only ones there. All but the 3 and 7 have some kind of decent season numbers.
Yeah, indeed. Looks like another one, Terry, with the colors, just saying it's pretty much wide open in here. And you know, the race shape and how the race plays out could be a huge factor in this. You have one Sesame Street in here, Terry, the 8-horse, Wicked Lady. In between the speed and the closers, these Sesame Street horses can be extremely dangerous, Terry. Looking at the early pace, you want to probably be the speed of the speed there if you can be. Black Diamond Rain, that one's the speed horse, Terry, and it's not a speed horse, it's a closer. So that's a left arrow horse. I like those, Terry, the ones that get to the front that typically want to be in the back. Late speed, Mendelian, the 11 horse, a closer. But if you look here, really not going to be all that far off the pace. A 9-point advantage over the next closest horse. So if that horse is in striking position coming out of the turn, you might not be able to hold off Medallion. And then the top total pace horse in this crew, Terry, is Medallion. All of these horses, and this one's got a 1-length advantage over the rest. Pretty competitive race, though, Terry, all the way up and down, except for maybe the 2, 3, and 4. But even they have a chance to factor in here, Terry. You like the 7 horse on top. Lucky Flush.
That's right. She finished 3rd versus Sooner in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then the 11, Medallion, is my second choice. Finished 5th in her last race as a favorite, but she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 34% of the races when bringing a beat favorite back to race again, and she drops in class. And then Baby Socks is 16 is my 3rd pick. She ran 2nd versus Similar in her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then the 8, Wicked Lady, my long shot. She ran 2nd versus Similar in her last race, and her best third speed is fastest among today's starters. No bet for me in this race.
I like the 11 horse on top, Terry, with that 5-point total pace advantages. You got a bunch of these horses in there, and that one still grades out that much better than everybody else, and does have a pretty strong, as we saw, late speed advantage. Not going to be too far off the pace here, Terry. I think that horse will have every chance to close this race out as they bear in on the wire. Baby Socks, Terry. This guy was a 20-cent favorite last time out for trainer Rudy Rodriguez. He doesn't bring very many to Parx, Terry. When he does, they perform. He's won 2 out of 5, and this guy finished 2nd last time around. Wicked Lady ran the top last race speed figure, Terry. It was 3 points clear of the next closest horse, minus the 13, but that one scratched out. This one's race internals were better from the beginning to the middle to the end of its last start, and likely to be better in the third start after a layoff, which is an alpha angle for trainer Guadalupe Guerrero. He wins at 16% ordinarily, with the third start off the layoff winning at 21%. And then finally, Black Diamond Rain is that left arrow horse that we spoke about there, dropping in class, likely to be the pace setter. And next up for me would have been your top pick, the Lucky Flush. When I see a medallion, I think of Mandela, right? I mean, that's kind of what comes to mind. And it just makes me crack up when I think about Chris Tucker in the movies Rush Hour. Mandela. Yeah. Have you ever seen that? Funny guy with big eyes.
Yep.
Race number 6, Terry, not so many horses, a bunch of horses in here that have making one of their first starts. So really couldn't do much in the data wise on that, Terry, but tell us what they're running for.
6 furlongs. It's a maiden $40,000 purse, and it's for registered Pennsylvania maidens.
Who are 2 years old.
2-year-olds, yeah.
Yes, the terrible twos at Parx today. Again, 6 furlongs does favor tactical speed. A bunch of them go wire to wire. Post positions 1 through 7, fair 8 and out, a little bit of a bonus. I think there's not 8 horses in this race, so not an issue. Again, not enough data to really do any simulations, so all we can do is old-fashioned pencil to past performances, make our handicapping, and tell us what you like and why.
I like the 5, Bad Mr. Brown. He ran second versus Similar in his last race and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Then I like number 2, Luya Blue. He's a first-time starter and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. 6, Face the Facts, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 20% of the 2-year-old races he has an entry in, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like the 3, Luca D, another first-time starter whose dam has 3 winners from 4 starters. One of them was a stakes winner. His breeding suits today's distance, and he has a good work on December 5th. No bet in this race for me either.
It's Christopher D'Souza talking about that 4 horse in that last race. As I mentioned in my handicapping over a guaranteed tip sheet, was the very next horse on our list at the 5th. And, if I hadn't flopped that one up there, I would have hit that pick 4. Just, if surprised you're not the 5 higher in this one, Rich. Bad Mr. Brown. When I look through these numbers today, it comes down to one of 2 things for me. I like to bucket them off first-time starters versus the other ones. This one, for me, Face the Facts, if this one just runs back to the October 10th race, it'll make easy work of this field. And last time on paper, it doesn't look so good with that fade at the end, but had a real big bump in its early pace. I don't think it's going to have to work that hard today. Number 3, Luca D, trainer Robert Reed. This guy hits Terry big time with first-time starters. 25% of the time, first-time starters at the maiden special weight level. And Mama makes a lot of winners, Terry. That's what I like to see for a horse that has some decent workouts getting prepped for today. Tough call for the 1 and 5 for me, but I went with 'Cause It's Chilly. It's another first-time starter for trainer Scott Lake. Mama made one baby. That baby is a winner. And another one with decent workouts in there too. And then finally, Bad Mr. Brown. Our good friend Chris Parmalu says that if a horse finishes second in its prior start in the maiden ranks, you want to put that one on top of your picks next time around. It's his best angle. But it was a well-beaten second. 6 lengths. I do think this one's going to contend right out of the gates. And most of the time, the horses that win these type of races, they tend to go wire to wire, or at least be very close to the front. I like the 1, 3, 6 over the 3, 6 over the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Probably should have thrown the 1 in the middle spot there too. So I think either one of those first-time starters has a shot in here, and you're probably going to get a little bit better odds. Finally, not finally. Do we have time for race number 7, Terry?
Yes.
All right. So we got plenty of time. To race the lucky number 7, Terry, in this situation, what is the story?
It's a 1-mile race. It's an optional claiming race again. $25,000 claiming price, purse $26,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $25,000 or less and which have never won 2 races, or claiming price of $25,000 and which have never won 2 races.
Yes, just they did that one twice. Never won 2 races.
They do that every time. So.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. Maybe reading comprehension skills need to improve.
Yeah.
Last time I was there, look, they did a good job cleaning up the city because there was just trash everywhere the time I went before that. At a mile, you got some early speed types that do well. Jerome Bettis, 36% of them get to the front, stay at the front, and then collect the big check. Post positions are a little bit better than fair 1 through 7. But if you're unlucky and you wear an 8 or out, that's a bad place to be. Unfortunately, in this race, no chance to be 8 or out, Terry, I don't think, in race number 7, because there's a few scratches that really have this field narrowed down.
It sure does. And that 2 shows the most speed, as you can see there. And then the 1 has a little bit of speed. And then the 1 is an overlay from even money to 5 to 1. Par number 1 has a good par number, and the 261 have the best C-zone numbers.
Yeah, and a lot of times these races, especially in a 4-horse field, I know that Scott Fiedler, the gentleman who wins a ton of money playing handicapping contest, in these short fields has always take the longest priced horse. That would be the 3, Griffin's Wings. I don't know what the odds are going to look like when the race gets started, but just from here, the 2-horse, if it gets to the lead like that, and the 1 horse with that strong par plus, and those 2 numbers right there are standout numbers for the rest of the field. Maybe those 2 horses go 1, 2 all the way around the track. Looking at race number 7, Terry, you got 1, 2, 3. They want to be on the lead. You got that lone P horse over here with the 6. As the gates open, it does look like they're going to go 1, 2 early on, and they have a really big advantage over the 3 and 6. These 2 might have to run a little bit too hard to keep up with the 1 and the 2. Otherwise, those 2 could get pretty far out to the lead. You figure 5 lengths, that's about 2 lengths and about 4 lengths for Celtic Tiger from these. As they come down the stretch, running for home, Twist Her, which probably sits right off the 2 horse, has a little bit of advantage over the 2 closers in there. Celtic Tiger could fade at the end. And then finally, Twister does have an 11-point total pace advantage over everybody in this field. So I'm going to guess, if I had to picture this race in advance, the 2 gets to the lead, the 1 sits right off of it, 1 runs by, takes the winner's check, and then the 2 kind of fades and see if the other 2 can pass it at the end, Terry. We both agree none of them are beating the 1.
No, I like the 1, Twister. She finished in the money in all 5 career races. She won one of those races, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 6, my second choice, So Fully Sue. She ran second versus similar last race, has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 17% of the rat races he has a horse entered in. And number 3 is my third pick. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I like the 2 as my long shot. Celtic Tiger drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 1 and 6 with the 1, 7, 8. I'm going to single the 6 and then finish up with a 3, 4, 6.
I think the 1 horse, Terry, short field, like I said, sits right off the 2, runs around the track, and then passes the 2 for the W at the end. I also like the 2 horse, Celtic Tiger, just in case. This horse is moving down in class and then has, I think, just too much speed for the other 2 closers behind it to catch. And that move in class downwards should accentuate that early pace edge. So Fully Sue is the lone P. All the other ones want to be forwardly placed on Parx dirt 4 times. All that 1 mile has a win, a couple of seconds, and a third. So I have this one finishing in the money to make it 5 for 5. And then Griffin's Wings. Somebody in a 4-horse field, Terry, has to be 4th. So I made it to 3. Christopher D'Souza says that's a mistake because it's a part of his exacta box right there for race number 7. And rewinding back to race number 2, he likes the 3-horse in there to win, place, and then at 1-7 added in for the exacta box. Our good English friend over here. 6 caught the 1 last time out. Could set up nicely to be caught again with the 2 pressing for the 1. Yeah, I think that could be the case, but in a 4-horse field, a lot of times speed gets up there and stays up there, especially if they can run away. If the 1 and 2 burn each other out because the jockeys aren't not all that bright that are riding them, then maybe you got a problem. But as long as they keep the fractions reasonable, I think they could. I mean, just on paper, it looks to me like they don't have to run as fast as they can, so they can take a little bit off early to save a little bit late because the other 2 are that much behind them. How much do we have to race number 7?
We have about 1 minute.
1 minute. All right. So not enough time to go through what we're doing. Well, it looks like they're walking around here. Terry, can we go race 8 really quick or not?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Race 8.
All right. So race 8 is a 6.5 furlongs, maiden $40,000 purse for registered Pennsylvania bred maidens, fillies 2-year-old.
And then at 6.5 furlongs, like we saw in the opener, typically early speed is the way to get the job done. You have a whole bunch of them, 33% going wire to wire. A little bonus for post positions 1, 2, 3, a little under par, 4, 5, 6, 7, a little bonus 8 and out. Terry, again, a bunch of horses making one of their first starts in here. So not a whole lot of data to work with, but this is what we got.
Yeah, they all show some speed, but that 5 shows lots of speed, but should get there unless something really jumps out of there. There's no par numbers in here, and the only overlay is the 1, 5 to 1 to 6 to 1, and the 2 is the only one that has a C zone number.
And in race number 8, in limited experience, the 3 is going to try it for the first time. The 1, 5, 6, 7, hey, those guys haven't been within 5 lengths of the leader, the finish line in their limited careers. The 8 wants to close. The 2 looks like it wants to be forwardly placed. But early on, that 5 horse should be the one that sets the tone. Really going to have to find some late legs in there, Terry. That's the dark red. Late speed belongs to the 1 horse, but all of them pretty much in the same space, minus these 2, and then the first time starter. Total pace belongs to Lucky Opportunity, the 1 horse Breezy Dance. All pretty close in there, except for maybe the 5 Everhard Terry. Ooh, I put that one on top. You don't even have it in your picks.
No, I like the 8, Still the Deal. Ran second in her last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 34% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again, and has a highest last race speed rating. Mikey Song, the 7, is the second choice. She finished third versus similar in last race, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. The 1 horse Lucky Opportunity, blinkers are added today, and she has a good workout on December 1st. And then the 6 is my long shot. She has a high percentage winning trainer. No bet for me in this race.
Yeah, race 2 is about to click off. And while race 2 clicks off, I'll tell you what I think about the 8th race. Everhart, very well bet in that debut, that 5 horse. Didn't fire. Since she is fired on the practice track, really fast bullet workout, 4 furlongs in 47 and 2. Number 8, Steal the Deal, money burner, favorite in 2 of 4 races, Terry. Likely favorite here too, possibly better in second out the sidelines after being better across the board with all of its pace numbers, but kind of deceptive because the fractions were kind of slowish. Breezy Dance, first off the claim for trainer Michael Moore, 17% angle, finds its November 6th form, is your winner. Finally, Mikey Song maybe figures it out in a third career start. Just can't give up such a lead to everybody at the start of the race like she has in both starts so far. And I think it'd be tough to bring it back. The 5 horse in race number 2 right now, Gold Bowling, is your leader. The 4 horse sitting in second place, getting a little bit of fun too, was 'Twas the Night. So maybe in this Christmas season, we ought to have had the 2 horse in there just by name alone. The 5 horse continues to set the tone after an opening half of 49, Terry. They're kind of going a little bit slow. The opening quarter was 23 and 4, though. Looks like the 1 horse in race number 2 is going to click up on that 4 horse here, Terry, and give it a little bit of a run for its money. It's at 7 to 2. The 5 horse, though, man, he's not giving up too easily, Terry. You're going to have to run that one down, my friend.
Uh-oh.
And it looks like right now the 1 horse has gotten to the north of the 4 horse. Those 2 have gone by the 5, that early speed horse. The 1 horse is pulling away from that 4 horse, Terry. So Majestic Lion looks like it's going to be the lion of this race. It's going to go 1, 4, and then I think the 7 is going to roll by the 5 at the end of the race. So 1, 4, 7, 5. 1, 4, 7, and 5. That's the best way for both of us to start off that pick 4, Terry.
Sure is. It's a nice price on that one. Getting paid $9.
Yeah, it's a good way to get started. So I'm happy about that. I just wish, well, I didn't do a double on the first side there, so no big deal. I was going to say, I just wish that 3 would have come in. So I'm pleased with a 7 to 2 at the top of the pick 4, Terry, with a 1 to 2 running out of the money. That probably wiped out a third of the tickets, I would guess.
I would imagine it would.
I bet you a lot of people singled up that 4. All right, race number 9, 2 races to go, Terry, for you and me today. Tomorrow, we'll be back to do sunny, warm Tampa Bay Downs on Thursday. Charles and I will probably do Gulfstream because it's the championship meet, provided he's back in town. But before we get to all those, Terry, we got to get to race number 9 at Parx.
6.5 furlongs, optional claiming race again, $25,000 claiming price, purse $34,000. For fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $16,000 or less since December 12th, 2021, or a claiming price of $25,000.
So you had the nice trifecta box there in exacta trifecta box. The one, I think the 4 finished second though, right? But you had the one in there, Chris. So that's a big plus. I think beating that was a big one in there. In race number 8, Christopher D'Souza liked the 2-horse to win place with the 8-5 to clean up the exacta trifecta box. Melvin Torres with a pick 5 for the second end of the race there. 6 with the 1-2-6, 1-6-7-8, 2-3-6-7, and the 6 screenshot that, folks. 6.5 furlongs. Looking at that, we have early speed being the way. 33% of the time, it's the way to the winner's circle by being on the front. A little bit of a bonus for post positions 1, 2, 3, under par 4 through 7. A little bit of a bonus 8 and out in race number 9. Once again, speed should be a factor, Terry. And like much of this card today, there's a standout fast one.
Sure is. That 2 shows lots of early speed, and the only other horse that shows some kind of speed's at 6. 2 has a nice overlay from even money to 6-1, and the 7 has an overlay from 3-1 to 5-1. The par numbers of 6, 2, 7, and 3 show some decent par numbers, and then the 2 and 6 have the best C-zone numbers.
You know, Christopher D'Souza puts a line through all the favorites in each race. I don't actually think that's a bad strategy, to be honest with you. Terry and I talk about these things off air. As we strategize, we don't share our picks or anything like that, but we talk about trying how to improve and our betting and everything else. And one of the things we've talked about is you either have to go ahead and I feel like, especially in strong favorites, you either have to put a line through them or single them, right? And that's I agree. Plus, you figure what is it in American racing, the favorite wins 3 out of 10, so it means 7 out of 10 it doesn't win. So the odds are in your favor to put a line through the favorite, at least at the top of the ticket. All right, Terry, in race number 9, our race shape looks like, again, one of these races, everything's kind of slanted a little bit to the right, Terry. So a horse that gets to the front should be pretty fun, have a good shot to take the top prize. The 6 and the 2, they're going to be on the front, Terry. There's no question about that. They're considerably quicker than the rest of the pack. And these bottom 3 down here, your closers, they're going to be way off. So I think you can see a field where you got 2 in the front, a couple kind of in the middle, a few lengths back, and then a tail, which is a few lengths back there. So some spread. Early late speed, that 6 horse, the one got the best early speed, has the best late speed. Can't pass, but you can't catch, Terry. And these 2 are probably going to be too far behind to make up any ground. Then your top total pace horse is Golden Tabby. That one is 12 points clear of Buxom. Just on that alone, that horse should win by about 2.5 lengths, Terry. Is anybody going to beat him in your view?
Well, I don't think so. I was going to originally make the 6 my pick of the day and then decided on the 4 in the 4th race. But I like Golden Tabby. She won last race at Delaware Park. She has the highest last speed rating, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. All the boxes marked off here. Number 3, Our Funny Business. Ran second in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and she's my second choice. My third choice is Empire Pass. She did not finish in her last race, but has several good workouts in a row that seems to show that she's fit to race today. Drops in class today, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 7 is my long shot, Buxom. She drops in class today. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 21% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse. I'm going to use the rest of my money on a $1 daily double. I'm going to use the 3-6 with the 2-3-4-6-7.
In this last race, the second to last race, Terry, I'm going to start with that 2 horse in there, Empire Pass. I think this one's got a good shot, as we see here, to be the pace setter in there, and unquestionably, I think has some of the top back class, which is probably reflected in the simulation odds here at 1-1, and the 52% chance to run par. This horse stopped in its last race after being on the lead and came back to the barn bleeding. I'm sure that they've taken care of that issue. I doubt the stewards will let that horse back out there if it wasn't healthy. If the horse returns to form, Terry, I think it can get to the front and wire this field. Golden Tabby does have the top last race speed figure, but it's been on the sidelines since late September. The works are okay, and the first up record is kind of sketchy, to be honest with you. It hasn't done the best. Looks like it gets well oiled for the second start. but that 95% chance to run par plus, you can't miss that with that top C zone score. Our funny business, you got Paco Lopez riding that one. And anytime Paco's aboard, you got to pay attention. Horse could improve in its second start after a layoff. And then finally, the 7-horse Buxom just looks considerably better than the rest of the field that's in there, the 4, 5, or 1, but does look to me like it's a cut well below the 2, the 6, and the 3. And that, Terry, takes us to the last race of this day, this Tuesday. See, not sure if you can do that here. We can remove the favorite and bet on the remaining horses, etc. Yeah, we can't really do that here. At least not. And think of what you're saying. Like you take all minus the favorite. We don't have that here. And I think that's probably not a bad idea, considering that horse does kind of struggle a little bit first up. It looks to me like that is a horse that needs one and then sharper. But the question is it just that much better than everybody else in here? Because, like I said, minus, once you get to the 7 and down, everything is pretty bad. Right, Terry?
Yep.
Last race of the day for us today, Terry, is race number 10. They're going to do, did we do 7 furlongs yet?
I don't think we have. No, this is first 7 furlongs. I think we did 6.5. But anyway, it's a $5,000 claiming race. Purse $18,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won 2 races since June 12th.
And they only need to emphasize 2 races in this case one time, Terry. So this must be a better field, right?
Yeah.
The sharps are on this one. Otherwise, the conditions would have mentioned it twice. 7 furlongs. I think this one has one of the biggest biases at the track from the post position standpoint. There's a very strong inside to outside advantage. Stalkers tend to do well here, Terry, but 29% of the time they go wire to wire. A little bit of inside to outside speed, Terry, in race number 10. Looked like all the speed that was in here decided to take the day off, though.
Yeah, it looks like they did to me too. The 12 has the most speed, with the 6 coming in second, and then the 8. And they don't show lots of speed, so we just have to see what happens. The 9 has an overlay of about even money to 10-1. That's a good overlay. Par numbers, the 6 and the 9 show some good par numbers, and the C zone, all but the 3 have decent C zone numbers.
Big field, a lot of horses in here that are kind of, it's at the highest graded race that you'll ever see. But we do see a really lopsided race shape in here. You got the 6 and the 12. They want to be on the front. Everybody else off to the back side of the race. Again, these 2 horses should have every opportunity to win between the 6 and the 12, especially if one of them has the best early speed. And those 2 should be out front, Terry, although the 6 horse does look like it has considerably more giddy up and go, about a length and 3/4 of a horse, maybe a length and a half quicker than the 12, especially since the 12 was on the outside. It does have to clear some similar speed to the inside. On the way home, the 9 horse, the Angry Man. I don't know who that one would be, Terry, and our crew, but I don't think we have any of those. Does have some of the best late speed, about 3/4 of a length faster than Samurai Saint, but about a length ahead of that guy as the gates open. On the way home and then to the finish line, he's incredible. And then the Angry Man, those 2 grade out 8 and 10 points more than the next closest horse, Terry. So I think 69, those 2 are in the right position, according to Total Pace here, to get the job done. You like the 6, but you bailed out on the 9.
Yeah, that's right. I do like the 6. He's incredible. Drops in class today. Has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Has a high percentage winning trainer. Switches the high percentage winning jockey. Number 3, Colonel One. He finished in the money in his last 4 races, and he won one of those races. He has a high percentage winning trainer. Anything passable. The 4 drops in class today. Has a trainer who wins 20% of the races when taking a horse down 2+ classes. He's my 3rd pick. And then my long shots, Hibachi, the 2, finished 3rd versus Tupper in his last race. Can improve at the shorter distance, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. I have no more money left, so I'm just going to have to pass on this race.
So, Melvin, what formula are you talking about? Because there's a bunch of formulas in here. So, which one is it that you're alluding to or interested in? In race number 10, Terry, I like the 6 horse, just like you, to come home on top. He's incredible. Does have that big early speed advantage over the rest of the field. Everybody else is middle or back. And on top of that early speed is your top total pace horse. The Angry Man, Terry, does have a big-time overlay. He should be happy about that. Also should be happy about the fact that he's got about a 49% chance to go above par. Second best total pace figure in here too, Terry, behind the 6 horse. But this one has the most late speed by a pretty good chunk. So if it can get close, hey, got a shot to run by the 6 at the end. Colonel Juan, the 3 horse, showed some better early pace last time out. Also ran some better fractions in conjunction with that. Cut back in distance for this old man, Terry, the one you and I should be rooting for, the 9-year-old. 4 times out, a couple of seconds and a couple of thirds. So by golly, we'll put him third. Samurai Saint, the 5 horse, definitely will be closing and just might not be all that far off the pace versus this crew in here, Terry. I'm going to close it out with a trifecta, 69 on top of 3, 5, 6, 9, 2, 3, 5, 6, 9 as the ones that finish off the back end of that trifecta for me. And then, of course, here are our total picks for the day. Terry, again, you and I will be back tomorrow. A little later on today, if you're going to play Zia Park, only 4 tracks running today, so really not a lot to choose from. But Zia Park is the free track, a guaranteed tip sheet. There is a link in the description down below. Let them know where you're coming from. And, of course, you can always go over to the mothership, horseracingtoday.net 2024. We have a lot of big plans for a lot more content over there. But one thing that's there today that will be there tomorrow, Terry, is a way to support the show and look great in your Horse Racing Today gear. Still, you get something for your family member that likes the show, likes horse racing. One of my favorite things in here, Terry, that tend to get a little bit of compliments on whenever I wear one is one of the hats. Like, where did you get that from? And then, of course, the shirts with the corresponding aprons in there as well. Again, that's over at horseracingtoday.net. Any final thoughts from you, Terry, before you and I get out of here on this terrific Terry Trifecta Tuesday?
Yeah, if you like what you saw today, and I know you did, well, please subscribe to YouTube and hit the little bell so you're notified about all our different shows. And go down and copy the link below and share it with your friends and relatives and anybody that you want to introduce horse racing to or who does horse racing. And you can always go to our social sites such as Facebook, Twitter, well, it's X now, I guess, Threads, Instagram, and TikTok at the Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us likes and thumbs up there. It really helps us out.
Yes, indeed it does. We appreciate the comments too, and you spending time with us. Giannis Chifus, thank you. Philip Perkins, thank you. Dave Clark, thank you for the thumbs up on Facebook. Unfortunately, the folks at Google are too cheap to let us know who likes the show, but we do appreciate that. It does help us again with the rankings. Of course, Terry, you and I will be back tomorrow. We look forward to sharing tomorrow with everybody again with our thoughts about Tampa Bay Downs. Between here and there, though, Terry, we certainly hope no matter what's going on in your life today, it's all good and that you get God's favor, God's blessing, and it all ends up in our favorite place, Terry, and that is
the winner's circle.
Yes, indeed. And Melvin, we'll be back tomorrow. Let me know which formulas you're interested in, and I can kind of point you in the right direction. Till then, folks, have a fantastic Tuesday.